Hello, everyone. I am dwangoAC, keeper of TASBot. So glad to have you guys here with me today. I am here from the studio that I usually do live streams from. With me today are a few commentators who are, in many cases, the authors of their own run. In fact, first up is we're going to be doing a console verification of Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Would you like to introduce yourself, Dimon? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name.
Hello everyone, I am Dimon12321 and this is going to be my first live commentary.
Awesome. We are going to be kicking off Chippendale Rescue Rangers. As a quick bit of introduction to tool-assisted speedruns on real hardware, I have TASBot right here. Little guy over there. You're going to see what buttons he's pressing here on Chippendale Rescue Rangers because this one is going to be played on a real Nintendo Entertainment System. If you'd like to know more about how to do that on a real console, come on over to discord.gg/TASBot. If you'd like to know more about the tool-assisted speedrun itself, head on over to the information you see there at the bottom of the screen, drdq.tas.bot. There are notes of this run, which you can use to follow along if you'd like. All right, are you ready to go?
Let's get this show on the road.
All right, make sure everything goes. You're going to hear some game audio here. All right, here goes in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we have Chippendale.
So, right from the beginning, Aglar performed a zipping glitch, which lets you move devices faster. You can also perform small jumps while preserving the zipping state. Here's the lift in. He makes chips spawn inside out and perform the zipping glitch again, and slides all the way to the other side. Here's another lifting from Chip. Another balloon zipping. Yeah, so you'll see plenty of zipping throughout the game, whenever it saves time. Summarize, the zipping glitch performed in this task is performed using a new technique when you grab your partner, jump, and throw him right before you land, and this lets you jump into him, and you must perform slide backwards at a very high speed. Now the controllers go to me. Thank you, Aglar. Yeah, so the RNG was quite bad here, but it didn't affect the time to beat the boss. Most of the bonus stages are replicated from dragonxyk test from 2008. As you can see, they are quite fun to watch. What's cool is that you can perform small jumps. Right here, it's like one solid jump throughout the almost whole section. Since I have plenty of health, I have to turn off the taps like usual. As soon as it's done, I zip again.
This is not nearly as easy as it looks, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. The game is lagging here because there are a lot of enemies on the screen. I slow down a little bit to keep zipping. Here I pause the game to make the spaceship spawn at the very bottom so I can spam it without jumping. As you can see, one flight and there is no boss already. Well, fun for you guys.
It's always fun seeing you mess around
Here.
outside the level.
Yeah. Zombie is quite long, like 3 long sections, and you know what that means? Yeah, you do. More zipping. Here I even have to run back to let the rabbits leave the screen because it causes lags. At worst scenario, when every second frame is a lag, the speed of zipping almost equals normal speed when it just runs.
I think that's the laggiest part of this whole run, right?
Mostly. It's quite convenient that these sprint boxes let me pass through. I don't even need to jump or slow down. Nice stock picture. A perfect team, isn't it? Who's gonna win this time? I hope you guessed it. If only those balls wouldn't interrupt him, but that's fine. I'm gonna perform some preparation to achieve perfect positioning to perform this.
I love that skip so much.
Yeah, that was insane. It saves approximately 10 seconds of real time if RNG is good. If platforms slow down a little bit or not do what you want, then more time is saved. These words are also convenient for me because they jump as soon as they approach them. No more trouble. They just jump.
And if you look at TASBot's little tiny screen in the corner, you can see what buttons he's pressing as we go through this.
Yeah, I hope so. These rhinos, on the other hand, they are troublemakers. I can jump over them while preserving the zip instead, so a lot of time I end up taking damage. Not much zip in here, but I still do it whenever possible. The boss here is manipulated to prevent the game from lagging. If he often throws his cookie, the game lags. So, where is the star hidden? Not this one. Dale wasn't happy. Yeah, here comes the nightmare for all the Chip and Dale speedrunners. The rocket that just flies, lands, but we cannot do anything to skip it.
The classic unskippable cutscene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the box. The first time in the whole game. Here I skip the big pipe as boss chipmunks. As you can see, I use boxes quite often to clear my way and to do zipping because here it's actually beneficial. It saves time.
That broken graphic is so silly.
Mm-hmm. Who's gonna win this time? Nobody. In this section I just do what the regular speedrun does. Yeah, it makes sense just to fly over this fence. Dipping glitch doesn't help here that much.
In the previous task, that was an area that saved a ton of time over RTA.
Yeah.
Now you have so many new time saves.
Uh-huh. Too bad they are all mostly tests only. It cannot be performed in real time. Another time when invincibility comes in handy. Nothing special this time, just a regular boss fight. And for the last, the moment of courtesy and peacemaking, because it's gonna be the last zone. This conveyor boosts your speed and I have to run backwards because the game doesn't accept such a combination. Maybe the speed would be too high for it to handle. Here I keep jumping to perform usual speed. Here are more enemies, that means more lagging. Here I die as boss chipmunks mainly to replenish my health because there is still more to stand for. Here I spawn the star and I managed to despawn the whistle at the very end to perform on solid zipping. Fat Cat is manipulated too because dash spamming makes the game lag. So here it is. The task of Chip and Dale.
That was the whole thing. Thank you so much for putting this run together. And by the way, this run was submitted to tasvideos.org. Was this last year, I think?
No, today, this year in July, I believe.
Ah, that's right. Well, I'm so thankful that you had an opportunity to do this. I'm going to switch over to the next run. So thank you so much for the commentary. We're going to switch over to a different commentator for the next run. Are there any donations to read in the meantime?
Yeah,
Thank you very
absolutely. First off, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dimon. That was an awesome run. We really appreciate you programming that for us. We have a $10 donation here from Kaladvich. Thank you so much for that. No comment, but we appreciate it. And we've got $15 from Mr. Destructoid, who just says, Mr. Destructoid, thank you for a donation in your own name. We appreciate it.
I love that. If you don't have the TASBot emote, then you can always use Mr. Destructoid. Okay, so this is a joint presentation between the TASBot and TAS Videos communities. We are a closely intertwined community group. TAS Videos is more focused. The TAS Videos community is focused more on making tool-assisted speedruns that inside of an emulator, and the TASBot community is more about taking those runs and putting them on a real console. So what you just saw was a console verification. We just played that back on a real Nintendo right next to me. The next couple, we're going to, for safety reasons for the marathon, we will be using encodes for those. You can find more information about this particular run by following that link at the bottom there, drdq.tas.bot. We'll redirect to the TAS Videos website where you can click on the runs we're showing today. And we have some additional notes from the authors. Coming up next is a Castlevania run. This one was made by Challenger and EIN86. I should have double-checked the pronunciation. And providing commentary for that run today, with me today, is SBDWolf. Are you there?
Hello, hello. I am here.
I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, are you ready to get started?
I am.
All right, let's kick off Castlevania in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So this is an incredible task, if I do say so myself. If you have played this game before, you might get the impression that this would maybe be a pretty simple speedrun. If you've never seen a speedrun of this, far from it. So let's go through it. After this walk through the castle, the first thing we're going to try to do is, in the first stage, we're going to whip some zombies, and we are going to try and get a stopwatch drop off of these. This is a drop that can occur once every 16 frames, and then enemies will drop an item depending on the current stage and how many items you've already gotten. Problem is, the stage ends on a door, and any stage that ends in a door is subject to a frame rule. And this happens to be a very tight frame rule, so you'll see that in order to actually meet this frame rule, we're going to keep with the zombie, lose as few frames as possible, and then also at the base of the stairs, this was very subtle, you press up only after being at the very bottom, which actually makes you start the stairs from slightly further right. And then you actually use the stopwatch on the first frame of control of this room, which delays that bat from spawning, otherwise you'd have to wait a second cycle, and we essentially can skip an entire cycle and save another few seconds. Now, here's the real insanity. You will see, we're going to grab an invisibility potion, and we're going to whip cancel the landing here, just skip the clunk, and we're going to turn around twice. Right there. Why is that? There's a block. Now, we're going to talk about that block in a bit, but watch what happens here. We're going to whip, and that bat is stabbed. That is supposed to take a lot more hits than that. So that's a critical hit. That is a frame-perfect glitch that happens when Simon gets hit on the same frame that he gets hit by an enemy. And since this game's way of making sure that an enemy only gets hit once by Simon's whip is to make it so that the whip's hitbox is only active for one frame, what happens there is that Simon getting hit on precisely the frame that the whip hitbox comes out makes it so that that whip lingers for longer, and so it's going to continue hitting that bat for several frames in a row until it dies. So that's frame perfect. And that block, that's called the scroll glitch. This was found somewhere in 2020. And essentially what it is, this is very complicated to explain, but it's an exploit with how the game kind of loads stuff in front of Simon and unloads stuff behind him. So it gradually kind of splits a column into chunks, and then it gradually unloads something behind someone and then loads it in front of him. And we're going to another instance right here. You turn around a few times, use a Medusa to damage boost up, and now we've created an entire hole through the ceiling, and we're going to be able to skip this entire room. So by turning around precisely at like the right times when the game would try to load something in front of Simon, if you turn back, it's going to essentially try to load something behind him, and then you can go forward and the game is going to like, completely skip past that block. And that's how you can essentially just rearrange the level design. We're going to do it again here. Create a block right next to this door, and that makes it so that Simon can just whip under that door and get a stronger version of the crit, which deals even more damage. Otherwise, even with a normal crit, we would only be able to hit Medusa for 6 HP. But that total height essentially it cancels Simon's knockback, so that whip lingers for even longer, and that's enough to just one-shot Medusa. And we're going to continue using this scroll glitch for a lot of this run. There's another instance right here. Turn around twice there, and then twice there, and we just created an entire staircase and skipped the entire section on the left. So if you end up watching a real-time run of this, you will notice that real-time runners are going to end up having to turn around more times and for longer. And that's just to create extra leniency, because this would end up being extremely precise otherwise. But we're a TAS, and so we just really have to turn around a couple times for one frame, and then we get done with it. Level 3 has a lot of instances of item manipulations. There's a few here that are mostly for style, I believe. But we're going to be making use of one in the next screen. Oh yeah, by the way, there was a small false buffer there just to manipulate a bone from a skeleton to be able to do stuff. And yeah, potion here just to skip the statue. And we're going to lose some frames right back here to try the statue. Now, the reason for that is actually because this is another screen gated by frame rule. And so throwing across doesn't actually lose any frame rules, but a secondary goal of this TAS all along has been to try and maximize the score that we're getting throughout the run. So we're not going to go out of our way to lose any time, but we are going to try and build up as high of a score as possible. So we're going to be seeing a pretty good one by the end. There's an extra block here at the bottom of the bridge. This is being juggled, actually. So I believe this is 2 times that we're doing the scroll glitch, and we're creating a platform here in the Mummies Arena. So what that does is it creates another total height where we can crit again. And that fight is done in another flash. There's actually another way to finish that mummy fight very quickly, and that is by throwing a cross as the mummies are overlapping. And what that will do is it will make it so that the cross will hit one mummy, then it will hit the other, then it will hit the first one again. Essentially, the game is forgetting that it's already hit the first mummy if it's hitting another mummy on the other frame. And so if you throw it at the right timing, you can actually one-shot the mummies that way too. But that crit is a little bit faster, and it actually allows you to grab the orb faster too. This screen is insanity. There's a ton of scroll glitches here. One here at the start to create this black void that actually has collision and allows you to walk over. Then we do a classic trick called cave skip, where you stop time at a precise time to freeze that bat and allows you to walk on top of this cave and ignore those platforms at the bottom. But now we go one step beyond. We create another staircase and we just completely ignore that last platform at the end too. And then another staircase yet again to get straight to the exit of the stage and skip the right side of that screen. All right. This is probably the most chill part of the run so far, and the TAS is obviously showing off by getting as many item drops as possible. And I believe here at the end, we're also going to even change our sub-weapon by getting an axe. I spoiled it. I think it's the very last one, yeah. So this would spell doom for RTA runners. We absolutely would prefer to keep the Holy Water to be able to continue to deal effectively with enemies and to be able to handle boss fights. But we have a few tricks up our sleeve, and this axe is going to come in handy for one reason, I believe. There's going to be another few scroll glitches here, so a few more turnbacks right here. That will create a platform there in the middle to once again be able to grab that orb faster, and then a total high run under Frink and one-shotting that boss once again. And small tech, by the way. You want to end the stage with 0 hearts, because once the stage is over, it will count down how many hearts you have, and it will give you extra score if you have any extra hearts left over. But that extra score actually loses time, so we try to minimize the hearts that we have left at the end of the stage. Right, so this axe, I believe we'll be using it to kill the skeleton here on top. We do a few more scroll glitches, juggle this fleaman behind us. We change sub-weapons a couple times, because why not? One block at the bottom, and then one block at the top, removing the blocks on top of the staircase. And this taps into how the stairs are programmed in this game. Basically, a staircase puts someone in the stair state, and then the game just relies on the stairs ending in a block. And the block is how the game determines, okay, someone has touched solid ground, we're going to put Simon off the stairs. But if we remove that block, then someone will just keep going up, and then we can touch the top screen of the top part of the screen early and transition onto the next stage much sooner. That's actually one of the bigger scroll glitches in the run. I believe it saves over 10 seconds. And this room is absolutely normal. One scroll glitch there, don't mind it. We're going to keep going, never mind, we're going to go back. So we're going to make a hole right here, and then another hole in the wall. Go back to the start of this room, back left. Now the screen is moving, and there's a door. The stage is over. So the reason why this works, and by the way, this hole right here also serves a dual purpose because we're using it to boost up again and skip the left side of this screen. The way this game is programmed to end the stage is it checks if Simon is at the edge of the screen. And, oh, by the way, this hallway is also ridiculous. We're just doing this without holy water jumping over the X Knights. So just relies on the stage ending with the camera locking and allowing Simon to touch the left side of the screen. But if you create a hole there at the start, then you can achieve the same effect just with the start. An X fight with that, it's already over before I could even talk about it.
So often the problem.
Absurd. This is much faster. Yeah. This is much faster than even we can kill this with the holy water or even some crates. It's absolutely amazing. All right, yeah, we're at the end of the run. This is the final level already. This is going to be the back bridge. The patterns on these enemies is predictable, so we're going to follow some consistent movements. Nothing too fancy here. We are just going to manipulate the trajectory of these fireballs so that Simon can whip them in front of him and get some extra hearts from that. So that's going to be coming handy later. So yeah, making our way through that, there's going to be another scroll glitch during the second part of the stage. That's going to skip an entire room once again, just skipping, going over the bottom. And we will follow a pretty unique route with the sub-weapon. Oh yeah, using a stopwatch to freeze that bone too. Using another damage boost to get up here. And we're going to get a cross, I believe, off the skeleton. Yeah, there it is. And then we're also going to lose some frames by attacking those hearts. And the reason why is because we want to hit enough entities to be able to build up enough kills to get a double shot multiplier, which allows two crosses to be on screen at the same time, and that's going to be very helpful for the Dracula fight. Another scroll glitch right here to just create some stuff on the left side. That's you'll see why. And in real time, we have to use a crit to cycle Dracula. A Tas just uses a double shot, and it's over. And then this is the Cookie Monster. You can hold up plus down to throw crosses and crouch at the same time. As soon as the Cookie Monster jumps, we jump and crit, and then we throw a few crosses backwards while doing a backward jump, right in position, grab the orb, and that's the run.
That is just so fast. And input already ended quite a while ago. That's amazing.
Yep. Input ended, like, I believe, at the last backward jump. Like, throwing across. This is a very fun technique whenever TASes do this. Just, like, ending inputs, like, just a few seconds or even sometimes several minutes early before, like, while the game just finishes on its own. Just leaving a few crosses left over so that they're finished the Cookie Monster off without needing to touch the controller.
Okay, I'm going to move away from Castlevania. We're going to prepare for Gimmick. I'm going to throw it over to our host for any donation incentives, and we'll be back with SBDWolf and myself here in just a second.
Absolutely. Update on those incentives we've got going. That Boss Song Showcase for Pump It Up Phoenix is at $191.24. So we've got a little bit of ways to go here before we can get that. Also, a humble request from me. Please, somebody donate 76 cents on the end of it to get a nice round number because my brain does not like the pennies that are in there. And then I have a donation here that I'm going to do my best at, but I have not practiced this. So please bear with me. This is $10.24 from a 56K dial-up modem who says, boop, bop, bop, boop, bop, 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 boop. Thank you very much for that donation. We really appreciate it. By the way, a risky one because, I don't know if there's a lot of people who know what 56K modems still sound like out there. So if I had been anybody else, I might not have remembered that sound.
I think the correct sound would be me, 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 me.
Yep. See? Yep. There we go.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next run, and this is a surprise run. I don't think even folks in the TAS Videos community knew about this. This is another opportunity for someone who worked on a run to be a commentator for it. So SBDWolf, thank you so much for being part of making this run. And what's special about Gimmick is this was just submitted a few minutes ago. Live right away on tasvideos.org. If you'd like to see it, just head on over to drgq.tas.bot. You can see the address there at the bottom of the screen. We have updated that page, so if you already went there, just refresh. You'll see the Gimmick tool-assisted speedrun submission there on the page. And SBDWolf, I'm going to hand it over to you. You ready to get started on the commentary? All right.
Ready as I can be.
We're going to switch and start Gimmick in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, this is another really fast one. So this is Gimmick. If you have never seen this game before, the main gimmick, of this game is that you're able to use a star both as a form of attack and as a way to create a platform that you can ride, and you can go really, really fast with this one. There is so much action during this movie. So we're already using some speed conservation from slopes to be able to just jump past that platform and making use of an enemy to get up here quickly. And we're already almost at the end of the stage. There's no time to talk about this. So one important thing about this game is that the score is actually relevant. It determines your item drops. So the ending 3 digits of your score, there's a table where if you have a certain score, you'll always get the same drop. So the TAS actually makes very careful manipulation of this. So we're starting the outscroller here, killing some enemies just to get some items, and then we're gonna cut this outscroller short by throwing a bomb and then jumping onto these cannonballs. And these are all between 1 and 2 frame windows. Absolutely insane to do all of these in a row. And we're already at the end of the stage. This is an Easter egg where they actually implemented this in the game. If you beat this stage fast enough, the boss is asleep and you can just push it off. So that's how it ends. That was level 2. Level 3, we're going to open this up with a star ride and then prepare a bomb to destroy both of these rocks at the same time, get more drops thanks to our score. This is waterfall skip, very difficult trick, skipping an entire section. And then this is a death warp. There is a missing sitting tile at the top. So with a very precise star ride, we're able to just get up there, and this warps us to the end of the stage pretty much. This is just the ending section right before the boss, and we are going to be making use of the technique that we might have used already before, but I had no time to talk about this. It's a TAS-only thing, where if you hold up plus down on the D-pad, you can switch your item, but still... I don't remember the order of this, but essentially you can use an item, scroll the item slot, use that second item while having the effect of the previous one, so you can just kind of use an item slot as if it were another item. So we're gonna start this stage with another scroller that once again we're cutting short with a bomb. Started on the dunes. These are absolutely insane to hit in real time. By the way, the real-time record for this run is a full minute slower, and this run is extremely quick. Just to give you an idea of how absurd this level of play is. We're going to be taking a shortcut here and then making use of a damage boost to skip right past that section, getting a health drop. We don't really need it, but it's in the way, so we might as well. Big star right over here, and then we're preparing a fireball for this mini-boss fight coming up that happens to just die 1 hit from a fireball because it's really vulnerable for it, to it for some reason. And then 1 big star right to the boss room, and here we're going to be doing a big glitch of the run where if you throw a bomb right as the egg is hatching, it will essentially fill up all the available item slots, and that eggshell is programmed to completely ignore limitations of object slots, and it will cause a buffer overflow, which will corrupt a bunch of memory addresses, including Yumetaro's hitbox size. So now our hitbox is pretty small, and we can use it to zip. So we just once again skip most of level 5. We're at the end, just at the boss fight, and we're going to be making some quick use of some attacks to clear phase 1, and then preparing a bomb for the start of phase 2, which is going to pop up here at the right side, and then this is going to be over very quickly. There it is. All right, the next stage and next and final stage is going to feature a clip, and this is enabled by the buffer overflow that we performed earlier to short-term run hitbox. And so if you get hit by an enemy right where a floor and a slope meet, you'll just clip through, and we are almost at the end of the stage already. This is ridiculous. So we are approaching essentially the boss gauntlet at the end of this run. This first boss will be skipped because we can use a bubble to cancel the star to get some extra height and just get a juicy star onto the next boss. We can skip the second one because there's an invisible wall, but we are making our way to the final boss, and I believe input ends like pretty much now. we just manipulate this boss's behavior so wonderfully to just be able to throw a star and just drop the controller, and
that's incredible.
I'm out of breath.
Oh, man. SBD, thank you so much for providing commentary for one of your own runs. It's awesome having an opportunity for Tas Authors to provide commentary for runs they've helped contribute to. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to throw it back over to the host as we prepare for DKC2, or the DKC donation incentive.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thank you everybody for donating to unlock that bonus TAS run of Donkey Kong Country. Super excited to see that. While they're getting that set up, we've got some donations here, including a $100 anonymous donation and a $25 anonymous donation. Thank you so much for those. And we have $50 here from Cannon Swift, who says, hey, a new gimmick. Donate your favorite computer sounds. Here's mine.
Oh, no.
You've got donation.
That's awesome.
That's a good one. If you've got computer sounds, if you've got nostalgia via donation you want to donate, send them over, and I will do my best to be terrible at them. So
you've got
send
donation.
those over. You've got donation.
Yeah, there's it. Really quick, I have to interrupt during this donation conversation. This is the shirt from Harvey Relief Done Quick so many years ago. And I guess I remember that, but
Amazing.
I'm so thankful we're doing Disaster Relief Done Quick. I'm really happy that we have an opportunity to make an impact. So do get those donations in. Somebody donate and tell TASBot to do something funny, and I'll try to make it happen. All right. We are headed on to the donation incentive run, and with me is yet another author of a tool-assisted speedrun, and it is an author who is familiar with the wonderful world of games done quick. It is Tompa. Tompa, well known for showing up with a red blanket in years past. Tompa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tompa here, as mentioned.
All right, let's get started.
I don't have my blanket on right now, though, but I can bring it.
Oh, that's okay.
Wait, I got it behind me.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, if you want to see more information about this run as well, head on over to drdq.tas.bot. And just to save time at the end, I would love to have folks swing by the TASBot Discord server. It's the primary place we connect to do console verifications like we did on Chippendale earlier. Head on over to discord.gg/TASBot to get involved in that aspect. All right, Tompa, you ready?
I am ready, yes.
All right, starting the run in 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, this is my 5th 100% task of this game. Since 2007, pretty much, I started tasking this game. This was made by me and Hidaigai, a Japanese guy. He submitted a task to task videos, and then we both improved it a bit, a couple of times. Small notes, like if you've seen RTA runs of this game, you're familiar with the general route. And this looks pretty much the same, but it's going to be slightly faster. The first thing you see that's different is the rolling technique. Normally when you roll in this game, you have to keep jumping to avoid stopping completely. So I'm doing a special trick called endless rolling, continuous rolling to never have to jump. Then I did a glitch with the DK barrel called a split up glitch. I jumped and landed on the critter and lost the barrel. And that the game now thinks that I've thrown the barrel and that Diddy is supposed to appear. But it's not Diddy Kong yet. But if I take a hit with Donkey Kong here in the next stage, I'm gonna jump up in the air and normally Diddy Kong is gonna pop out, but it's not Diddy Kong, so he falls down to his death. And that's gonna be important later. And now if you press a button between the first two levels here, you can warp to level 3-5, Orangutangang. And here we're gonna set up a big warp glitch in the level. So first we need to backtrack to get Espresso, the ostrich. And then we're going to ride Espresso with this barrel, which is not a trick in itself. So throw the barrel, jump onto it, land on the Espresso, and keep running. And then we break the Storm Cat behind me. And then we break the barrel to the mid-range barrel. And now we're riding with an invisible barrel at the moment. And what this means is that we are holding the next sprite that loads in memory. So we want to hold this bonus opening right here. And depending on how you open the bonus and how close you are to it, you can change the value where the bonus is going to take you. So I'll break out Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong comes out, but as I killed Donkey Kong before, he just disappeared. And because I did the setup with the invisible barrel and exited the bonus with both characters at the same time, I do a dual exit warp to World 6, the last world in the game. This is the second level of the last world. And because this level has an animal body, it has ram in it, I can take Espresso with me from it, because I entered the bonus with Espresso. And that makes this level really easy to do. Then we do a nice corner boost and get Donkey Kong back because we need him in the next level for another glitch. And then we just keep on rolling all the time. Every enemy you roll into will speed up your movement up to 4 enemies. And then we're gonna see a glitch called Super Jump Roll. You're gonna combine 2 glitches in a row. One is that Super Jump, it's a setup here with did a jump straight up. Then when you land on an enemy the same frame you roll, you do a jump roll. And combining that with the super jump, I can hold the B button to go as far up as high as you want in the game.
I know.
And also max speed. Oh. And I rolled my music off, so I did. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Right now I have the max rolling speed, and I'm just rolling through the entire level.
That's
the very end.
Okay, I thought that caused the music to drop out, but it was in fact there.
Okay. Then we need to backtrack and set up the split glitch again. This is the normal way of doing it, by entering our level again, throw the DK barrel, start select to get out, and then we need to take another death. And that's going to be useful for the last level in this world here. To come up and start the loop of lights, we have a claptrap death. Normally you can't roll into claptraps, but this one you can because it's stationary, and that can only be done in the first version of the game. Otherwise, not too much to say about this level itself. You're gonna see the jump roll coming up right here, where you can roll in the air without falling, and then you can just jump out whenever you want to. Some levels in the game are it has much bigger use, but this level is this task is so short, so you don't get to see much of it.
I'd love to show the whole every level run, 100%.
Yeah, there's one of those as well that I made. That took me 10 years to make, between 2007 and 2017. It's look it up if you want to see it. But in the split up glitch we did the setup for. In the next level, we're gonna use a warp glitch to end the level instantly. If you enter the bonus barrel here at the start with Diddy Kong, and then you get Donkey Kong back as your dead character, but he is inactive at the moment. If you do that in certain levels, you can end them instantly. This is what's coming up here. I backtrack the Digger barrel, I throw it and get into the bonus. Dika jumps down and dies, more or less, but the level is speeded because we're entering the bonus room. And at the very start of the boss fight here, we use a slap slide by holding left down and right at the same time. This avoids breaking the Dika barrel. Because when you have 2 characters on the map screen, you lose 10 frames between each level. But we will break the barrel in the next stage because we need to. And it's just fooling around in the level, doing funny things. But the last hit, we want the master neck to be as low as possible for it to drop. Don't drop as long, as far. And here you see in the world map, there's no other world speed, and so it looks kind of funny, and the chip doesn't appear. And now this level is pretty much a big auto-scroller. You just need to time each hit while he's running back and forth. But this is a good place to try to do something fun and just fool around with him. But as I mentioned, this is my 5th time doing the 90% category, and doing this boss fight so many times gets quite exhausting. So I think this fight was entirely done by Hidaigai. So this is all his work.
Awesome to have a collaboration.
Yeah, it is. You often need people, like more people on tasking to find new improvements, because you always need a new set of eyes to look for new things.
And as always, anyone can get involved in making tool-assisted speedruns. You can come on over to tasvideos.org and we'll be more than happy to give you a hand.
Absolutely. So there are some improvements to this task. This one was made in the February of 2020, and there has been some new improvements in the first level, which about saves a second. But I've been too lazy to improve it. But feel free if anyone wants to. It's up for grabs. But I got me to 1 hour for tasking this game for so many years. And there's the famous fake credits that I think fooled a lot of people back in the days. There's a small optimization there at that hit, because you want to be as low as possible when you hit Inca roll the last time, because that means you're going to land on the ground earlier to start this credit earlier. And as mentioned in the Gimmick TAS, that the tests often end input early by letting the game beat itself. So that's going to be done here as well. So after the first 2 hits, we can make a jump slash, as I call it, the jump slide slap with the Donkey Kong. It's glitching itself as well. But then we do it right there. But then now the task ends, and then we just stand still here. And the fun thing is that when the Dick is gonna take damage here, THEKyleThomas is jumping straight up and does the final blow. So there's the run.
There's the whole run. Well, thank you so much, Tompa, for doing this. A couple of very last-minute credits. The first one we did with Chippendale Rescue Rangers was console verified on a TAS TM32 replay device made by Onosaurus and Rosteri. The Axeman was involved. A bunch of other folks were part of making that happen. You can make your own replay device or get one of your own. If you want more details, head on over to discord.gg/TASBot. We'll gladly give you a hand with getting you started on console verification. It's a ton of fun. Also, of note, I used a script to use my X32 soundboard to switch between all of these runs made by Zayetskin. Thank you so much, Zayetskin. To all of my mods and admins, thank you so much for making this all possible. Same to the TAS Videos admins. And I believe that brings us to the end of this TAS Showcase. I'm dwangoAC, your host for this part. Thank you so much. Well, I guess half host, because there's also our donation reader. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to show off a TAS Showcase. And thanks again to the TASBot and TAS Videos communities. Stay awesome and keep TASing.